buns or buns to be. So today I wanted to make a video for people that are thinking about starting Final Fantasy XIV, and I wanted to share with you some things that I wish I knew before I started. Some real shit, basically, that I've learned through age and experience that I can now pass on to you, new player. So the first thing is probably one that you know already. If you've heard anything about Final Fantasy XIV, the one thing that you've heard is that the game is story heavy on the story, main story quest heavy. And this is the thing that's really amazing about Final Fantasy XIV, one of the reasons I'm shouting from the rooftops about how great it is. But there are some downsides. You need to be like ready to sit through lots and lots of cutscenes, and they're great. It's awesome. It's gonna be enjoyable, but it's just a thing that you should be prepared for. Like, you're not gonna be blasted through combat like grinding all the time. Most of it's gonna be story heavy, so that's something that if you're not that comfortable with, I don't know if FF14 is gonna be the game for you, but I urge you to try to go into it with an open mind. If you don't like to read, that could be a problem. There's a lot of the quests that are not voiced, especially in Realm Reborn, where you're going to be reading a lot of dialogue. Now, I think it's really well written, but some of it can be kind of frustrating if you start in, say, Limsa Lominsa as your city-state, because there's pirates there, and they talk in this pirate speech that, especially if you're not a native English speaker, can be kind of difficult to read through, but I urge you to just push through that and try to read it the best you can. You don't have to understand every single thing perfectly, but more things will be voiced later on. And overall, for me, I did start in Limsa Lominsa, and I loved the way the pirates talk in there.
Bloody arrows, me throat's parched. Can't wait till me shift's over so I can drown myself in ale. Aye, that and a buxom barwinch to dandle on me lap.
It was one of the things that won me over, but I also heard it can be a turnoff for some people. Now, you might be thinking, oh my goodness, it's going to be hundreds of hours of story. How am I going to have time for all this? Like, I do not have time in my life to put hundreds of hours into an MMO, and because that sounds terrifying to someone that doesn't know just how different FF14 is, how unique it is. This is not an MMO that is going to leech all of your time. It's not. Even people like me, where I want it to leech my time, the game's just, it's not built for that. It's not really built for that. It's meant for you to play at your own pace, and that's true pretty much for the entire, even into endgame, really. Play as you want. And so when it comes to hundreds of hours of story that I mentioned, you will be able to solo almost all of the main story quests. I think every main story dungeon you can do solo with AI bots will go in through with you. And I think that they're going to be adding that functionality to the trials as well, if they haven't done it already. I'll have to double check that in editing for this video. You can play on your own solo, which means at your own pace, and there's no rush to get to endgame. Even when you're at endgame, there's really no rush to do anything, unless you're trying to raid on patch. Next thing is about money, paying for the game. So you've probably heard that you don't actually have to pay for the game.
Have you heard of the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV, now with an expanded free trial? You can play through the entirety of A Realm Reborn, Heavensward, and the award-winning Stormlight expansion up to level 70. For free. With no restrictions on playtime. Because I have. I've heard it a lot.
The reason it is a meme is because that is actually an insane amount of content that you can do for free. Really. So if I were you and I was, watching my finances, I would probably go through all the story up all the way through Stormblood and level 70 on the free trial. Because once you buy the game and you buy a subscription, you cannot go back to playing indefinitely for free with no limits on playtime like you can on the free trial. Once you paid for the game and you set up a subscription, you can't go back. That's it. Now your subscription forever. But there are some limitations to being a free trial Andy. And so my next video on this channel is going to be about everything you can and cannot do on the free trial as of right now. So stay tuned, but until then, you're definitely going to be A-okay on the free trial while I'm making the next video. Just sit tight. Once you're done with the free trial and you're ready to set up a subscription, I strongly recommend you go with the entry subscription that gives you a max of 8 characters per data center region. This is cheaper than standard, and used to be the entry would only let you have 1 character. But now you can have 8 characters, which is 7 more characters than you're probably going to use. The game is not alt friendly, and 8 is like more than enough you would ever need on a data center even. So go with entry and save some money. Now, when picking your server, you can pick really any server within your region, because now we have data center travel, so you can hop to a different data center at any time easily. I know there's like very loud outside. My goodness. I was hearing like sirens. Oh my gosh, is my window open? Well, what about if you wanted to play on different region? So I'm really a person who is split between EU and NA. I have played on EU for Final Fantasy XIV servers since 2015 up until like this past Christmas. And so all my friends and all my stuff was on EU. And so I have a community on EU. And then I moved over to NA because I had to flee the war in Ukraine. I was living in Ukraine before I came to America. And now I'm in NA, and now I have all these friends on NA. And so obviously I want to play with my friends on EU and my friends in NA. But I can't because it is unfortunately a huge pain in the butt. Final Fantasy XIV does not let you play cross-region yet. Now, Yoshi said that they might add functionality for that later on, but who knows when that's going to happen. That's all pie in the sky right now. And so if you want to play with NA and EU, you have to have more than 1 character, and you need to have 1 character on NA, and you need to have 1 character on EU. And you might be thinking, oh, but what if I want to just transfer over sometimes? No, you can't really do that, because I had a friend transfer over from EU to NA to play with me. But once you do that, you cannot go back to your original region for 3 months. He was actually trapped on NA for 90 days because that's the rules for some reason. So it's not ideal. Basically, you need to have 2 characters, NA and EU. That's the biggest restriction you're going to see when it comes to server choice and data center choice is between regions. It doesn't matter that much what server you are on as long as it's within your region, because you can log out, and from your logout screen, character screen, you can hop over to a different data center. And you can hop to different servers within your data center using world travel at the Aetheryte in the major city. So this is really easy to do anytime. But the only thing I would say is that some servers, you have a better chance of getting a house on if that's something you ever want to buy for your character. The lower population servers are going to have better chance of you getting a house on them because there's less people there. So sometimes people, like I'm on Dynamis, which is one of the brand new data centers for NA. And so it's way less populated with being new. And because of that, it's a lot easier to get housing on Dynamis. So sometimes people refer to Dynamis as the suburbs because it's also, with less people, it's harder to get groups on there. So what we do is we go there to get the housing, and then we data center travel over to a different data center whenever we want to do content. So usually I will just data center hop over to Ether where everybody does the content, and that's where I start groups and things. But this is going to be a problem if you want to ever do PvP. PvP, ranked PvP, is going to be specific to your server. So you will not be able to data center travel to another data center to do PvP over there. So if PvP is something that's important to you, I would maybe go to a higher population server. If housing is important to you, I would maybe go to a lower population server. Maybe you can find something in between. But these are just the main considerations. Next thing is something that I always worry about whenever I'm making a character in a video game. I'm one of these people that I will take 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, 24, 48, 80 hours in character creation for a game. I tend to be pretty unhinged about this. Whenever I make a character, I take lots of screenshots and I cross compare them to each other just to make sure that I've made the perfect character that like whose appearance reflects their inner spirit. Okay, like I'm way overboard in creating characters, and so for me, my greatest fear when making a character is that I will not be able to change this later. And so I just want you to know straight ahead, straight off the bat, that yes, you will be able to change your character's appearance later on if you do not like how your character looks. Once you are done with Realm Reborn, you will get a free Fantasia potion that you can use to change all aspects of your character, like your race, gender, skin color, height, booba size, whatever. You can change all that with the Fantasia. Also at level 15, you can unlock the Esthetician, which will let you change just the superficial aspects of your character. So like you can change the hair color, hairstyle, things like that, but not the deep stuff that you can change with the Fantasia. But I just wanted to let you know, if you're like me and you're wondering, like, is this for life? Is this a forever commitment with this character I'm making? No, it's okay. You'll be able to change it later on. But if you don't want to worry about, like, did I make a good decision with my character? Does my character look good or not? Just play Viera. Yes, it's going to require you to buy the Shadowbringers expansion, but it's worth it. Okay, just go ahead. Just go ahead and play Viera. Another thing you should know is that not all jobs are shown at character creation. In fact, really no job is there. It's like super, I feel like this could be explained a lot better to the player at character creation. But what you're seeing at character creation, these are baby jobs, okay? This is like little baby classes, and some of them evolve into big boy jobs. So whenever you preview the job armor on these different classes, you're seeing the armor of the jobs that those classes will evolve into. It gives you no information about what these classes are going to turn into. Like, how do I become a dancer? How do I become a summoner? Basically, none of that is explained at all. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you a graph on the screen of what these classes change and evolve into big boy jobs, okay? So if you're really interested in one of these big boy jobs, you can just pick the base class for it. It's like Lancer, you're going to need to be first to become a Dragoon. Archer, you're going to need to be first to become a Bard, so on and so forth. But there's also a lot of new jobs that have been added that you will be able to unlock so long as you have any job up to a certain level, like a level that is required to unlock that new job. But you really shouldn't stress about this too much. Here's what you should do with character creation. Check the, job gear preview and pick the gear that looks best on your character. Literally just pick the one that you think looks the coolest and you're going to be fine. Okay? Because this is stuff you can figure out later on. I mean, you can unlock every job, so it's fine. If you pick one that you didn't like, it's really not a big deal. The next thing is really the reason why FF14 got this reputation for having a great community. And I know we meme on that all the time because the community isn't perfect, but when it comes down to it, if you're a new player and you need help, don't be afraid to ask for help because the community actually is really, really friendly for the most part, and people will be super happy to help you. People love helping new players in Final Fantasy XIV. So if you're in a dungeon, I recommend you say, hey, I'm new at the start, and people will definitely help you and be very patient and do everything they can to show you the ropes, more or less. So please don't be afraid of that. FF14 is probably one of the best MMOs to start in, I think, because of that. Just because how welcoming people can be and how much they're willing to guide you through your beginning experiences in the game. And we also have, I have a Discord server where we have an FFXIV help channel, and we have people coming in there all the time asking questions. It's like a 24/7 help desk. If there's anything you're not sure about, you can come into the Discord and ask a question. We will have people there who can help you with that. So don't be shy. Now, my last tip really comes from the fact that I've been a World of Warcraft player, and I am still a World of Warcraft player. So I have WoW brain rot, like some of you might. And so whenever I go to a town and I see all the quests, I think, oh goody, I can go do every single one of these quests. Please do not do this in Final Fantasy XIV. Okay, this is not a good idea. It will take you so long because it's not like in World of Warcraft where you just pick up every quest and you turn it all in and you get the huge dopium rush from all of the quest friends. It doesn't work like that. The side quest of Final Fantasy 14 XP is like fine. It's not that good. You can probably do that later. Like, enjoy the side quest. Yes, you can do the side quest, for story value, for lore value, but it's gonna slow you down a lot. Real talk. If you're gonna try to do every side quest you see, what I strongly recommend that you do is follow your main story quest. It has a special icon that is there for you to know that this is the quest that I need to do next. There is also going to be a doodad on your screen that shows like next main story quest, and you can click on that to show you where to go next. So please follow that. There's also going to be some important unlocks along the way if you're not sure what to unlock. I have made a video about that. I made a video about important unlocks these are like blue plus sign quests, and that video is still pretty current. Like, that video is gonna do you good up until pretty high level, at which point my update to that video will be out. So I'm gonna be working on the update to the video. But for now, you're gonna be good to go on just doing main story quests and important unlocks that are blue. Anyway, that's all of my advice. I don't want to overload you with too much information if you're a new player, but let me just say that I'm so excited for you if you're about to step into Final Fantasy XIV for the first time. This is a game that I love with my whole heart, and every time I see a new player who is like obviously in a cutscene, I'm just thinking about, ooh, like they don't even know what's coming. It's going to be such an incredible adventure for you. And so I hope everybody does give it a try. If you like this video, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon or on Twitch. You can also support the channel for free just by clicking the subscribe button or by sharing this video with your fellow bun buns. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.